Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the procession.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise for the national anthem? Please be seated. Good evening, and welcome to the 2024 Duke-NUS graduation and hooding ceremony. To the graduates of the class of 24, this celebration is yours, and we are gathered for you for the joyful purpose of sending you off with our best wishes and some final thoughts. To the families and friends of the class, a very warm welcome to you. And to the individual and institutional pillars of our community and our esteemed guests, may I extend warm greetings and a grateful welcome for giving today the significance that it deserves with your presence. We have with us His Excellency Mr. Jonathan Kaplan, U.S. Ambassador to Singapore, our keynote speaker, Professor Mary Klotman, Executive Vice President for Health Affairs at Duke University and Dean of the Duke University School of Medicine, Professor Tanang Chai, President of the National University of Singapore, Mr. Goh Yu Lin, Chairman of the Duke-NUS Medical Board, Professor Ng Wai Ho, Group CEO of SingHealth, Mr. Tony Chu, Founding Chairman of the Duke-NUS Governing Board, Duke-NUS Governing Board members, Professor Thomas Kaufman, Dean of Duke-NUS, Deans, faculty, distinguished guests and colleagues, thank you all for being here. I am Shiva Saraf Yazdi, and as the Vice Dean of Education at Duke-NUS, I have the distinct privilege of hosting today's ceremony. To start the program, I invite Dean Thomas Kaufman to share his welcome address. Dean Kaufman, please.
Well, good afternoon. Guest of honor, His Excellency, Mr. Jonathan Kaplan, U.S. Ambassador to Singapore. Our keynote speaker, Professor Mary Klotman, Executive Vice President for Health Affairs at Duke University and Dean of the Duke University School of Medicine. Professor Tanang Chai, President, National University of Singapore. Mr. Goh Yu Lin, Chairman of the Duke-NUS Governing Board. Professor Ng Wai Ho, Group CEO of SingHealth. Mr. Tony Chu, Founding Chairman of the Duke-NUS Governing Board. Duke-NUS Governing Board members, distinguished guests, faculty, family, and friends, and most importantly, the incredible class of 2024. It's my pleasure to formally welcome, we'll have time to applaud later. It's my pleasure to welcome you all to the graduation ceremony of the Duke-NUS Medical School class of 2024. Today, we gather to celebrate a milestone that marks not only the end of an important chapter in an exciting academic journey, but also another step in a lifelong commitment to healing, discovery, and innovation. So today we're going to be recognizing 3 groups of graduates today, 67 medical students who receive MD degrees, 20 graduates of our PhD programs, 8 recipients of master's degrees, which comprise the first cohort of our Master's in International Translational Medicine program. So to start with, can I ask all of the graduates from all the programs to please stand up so we can see you and you can be recognized. Nice group. Nice group. Congratulations, everybody. Now, these graduates wouldn't have made it to this auspicious day without the loyal support of their families and loved ones, many of whom are also here today. So may I also ask the families, friends, and other affiliated persons of our graduates to please stand up and be recognized. Don't be shy. Yeah, go ahead. So thank you all for being here, and we really appreciate all the support that you've given for these young people as they've worked hard to get where they are today. We're very pleased to have as our guest of honor the U.S. Ambassador to Singapore, Mr. Jonathan Kaplan. During his career, Ambassador Kaplan has been a champion of education, entrepreneurship, and philanthropy. And as Duke-NUS represents a very successful product of a partnership between outstanding academic institutions in Singapore and the U.S., it's especially meaningful to have the ambassador at the ceremony with us today. So thank you very much for taking the time, sir. And then personally, I'm particularly delighted to welcome our keynote speaker today, Professor Mary Klopman. Mary is the executive, as I said, the executive vice president for health affairs at Duke, dean of the Duke School of Medicine, a distinguished clinician scientist, a member of the U.S. National Academy of Medicine, and a longtime strong supporter of Duke-NUS. I'm also pleased to acknowledge Mary's husband, Paul, who's in the audience here. While he's technically an accompanying spouse today, he also happens to be the president and CEO and executive dean at Baylor College of Medicine. So, Paul, glad to have you here. And in full disclosure, I've known the Klopmans for many years, and they're dear friends. Mary and I were medical residents together, and Paul was our chief resident when we were interns. And also my mentor when I was a nephrology fellow and beyond. So it's really especially nice to have the two of you here today. So appreciate it. Also like to recognize NUS President, Professor Tang Chai, and NUS Provost, Aaron Thean, who are all here both representing our local parent university. And Duke-NUS is extremely fortunate to have the backing and support from these two outstanding academic institutions. And finally, I'd like to give a special shout out to Professor Ng-Wai Ho, the relatively new group CEO of Sing Health, our highly valued partner in academic medicine. This isn't Wai Ho's first graduation that he's attending, but this is the first one that he's attending in his current position. And those of you out there among the graduates who'll be doing your postgraduate training in Sing Health, you'll learn about Wai Ho soon enough. So let's get back to the stars of the show today, which obviously are our graduates. As I mentioned previously, for the first time today, we'll be awarding degrees for the Master of International Translational Medicine program. This program was established in 2021 and offers a unique opportunity to learn from a diverse group of world-leading experts who are directly involved in translating discovery to practice. The course was developed through a partnership with the Eureka Institute for Translational Medicine in Italy, and I look forward to congratulating each of our 8 MITM graduates in a short while with the ambassador. So as a reflection of our vibrant and impactful research culture here at Duke-NUS, we actually host 3 different PhD programs. The first, the oldest, and the largest is Integrated Biology and Medicine, which is tightly linked to the school's signature research programs. Graduates from this program receive joint Duke and NUS degrees. The second is the Quantitative Biology and Medicine program, which focuses on statistics and bioinformatics, preparing its graduates to contribute to the revolution in data science and healthcare. And then finally, the Clinical and Translational Science program is designed for busy clinicians who have completed their medical degrees and wish to undertake intensive training and research. Today, we'll be handing out 20 PhDs, our largest cohort of PhD students today. And among this group, I want to especially highlight the 5 individuals from this group from our MD PhD program who will also receive their MD degrees today. A culmination of plus or minus 8 years of hard work and commitment. Now, Duke-NUS was established with a special mission to produce clinician scientists for Singapore. Outstanding clinicians who do research and thus can more easily bring their discoveries to their patients. And in many ways, our MD PhD graduates are a culmination of this effort. Finally, among the PhD recipients, I want to highlight Dr. Ku-Chi Wai. This is not the first time he's experienced a Duke-NUS graduation. He's an alumnus from our MD class of 2013 who'll be receiving his PhD degree from the CTS program today. So truly walking the talk of a clinician scientist. And congratulations, Chi-Wai, wherever you are, out there somewhere, I think. So let me turn now to say a few words about our MD graduates. You're a highly accomplished group with diverse backgrounds and experiences, educated in the world's best universities. When you arrived in the summer of 2020, we were in the depth of the COVID pandemic before vaccines were available, and you spent many months, and many of your initial months in school, learning online, mostly isolated from your classmates. When the world opened up, you became a close-knit group, transitioning seamlessly from remote learning into a community of aspiring doctors who have supported one another during trying times. You faced uncertainty with confidence, mastered new ways of learning, and solved unimagined problems, truly embodying our school's values of courage, compassion, integrity, and collaboration. And you've already had significant impact, leading community service projects, publishing an impressive number of peer-reviewed papers, right now 50 and counting, pretty good. And now you will soon be receiving your MD degrees, bearing the names and endorsement of two world-leading academic institutions, Duke University and National University of Singapore. For these graduating medical students, most of you will be moving full-time, and I mean that literally, into the SingHealth Duke-NUS Academic Medical Center. As you embark on your postgraduate training, serving as house officers in the dynamic ecosystem of our AMC, where you'll have the privilege of training in an environment with high standards of clinical excellence, supported by outstanding clinical mentors. It's going to be great. No worries. So I have to say, I'm a little aside here, but having the Klotmans here with us today made me think back nostalgically about the days when I was where you are. Just graduated from medical school, feeling excited, but also kind of anxious about starting house staff training. But through the mist of time and maybe a moderate cognitive impairment, I remember as a wonderful, challenging, and magical time. And I have a very vivid memory of an eventful evening that I want to share with you. I got a call from my chief resident, Paul Klotman, saying that a patient with diabetic ketoacidosis was being admitted to my service and to meet him in the emergency room. At that time, I was still kind of green and went down to the emergency room to find a very sick patient who had low blood pressure, high blood sugar, and literally every blood chemistry value was abnormal. I had no idea where to start. Paul came down, gave me a little pat on the back, and then very succinct and clear instructions on what to do. Particularly emphasized that I needed to make a chart to follow the clinical parameters. Now, just for the students, we didn't have Excel back then. I had a piece of paper. It was a pretty big piece of paper, but and then he left me. Well, he appeared to leave me to manage the patient on my own, although there was plenty of subtle and close oversight. But anyway, the patient gradually got better, and for one of the first times, I experienced the thrill and the fulfillment of helping someone who was really sick get better, reaffirming one of the main reasons that we all go into medicine. For me also, it was a great lesson in the wonder of human physiology, fluid and electrolyte balance, kidney function. I realize that's not everybody's cup of tea, but it was fascinating to me, and it really did help set the course for the rest of my career. But also, it was a lesson in the value of great mentoring. So thanks, Paul. So for the graduates, I very much hope that you can experience the same kind of excitement and wonder in your postgraduate training that I did, with wonderful colleagues and mentors, with patients who teach you about the intricacies and the joys of medicine. It's not an easy road, it's not. But I will tell you that you are very fortunate to be in this amazing profession. So you're graduating into a rapidly changing world with an abundance of new opportunities, from harnessing AI to improving health, precision medicine for delivering personalized treatments. In the face of these changes and disruptions, you're going to need to hold closely to your humanity and ethical principles that lie at the heart of medicine, which you will rededicate yourselves to when we recite the Hippocratic Oath together in just a little while. So in closing, as we approach the 20th anniversary of Duke-NUS, let's look to the future. Singapore will need doctors and scientists who can find new paths for transforming medicine and improving lives through research, education, and innovation. And this is why you all came to Duke-NUS in the first place, right? So tap on the skills and knowledge you've gained, as well as the networks you've built during your time with us. Take care of yourselves and each other. And this year, as we inch closer to our 20th anniversary, we'll have some terrific events planned. I know you're going to be busy, but keep an eye out, and I encourage you to attend these when you can. And I also strongly urge you to engage with the Duke-NUS Medical Alumni Group. They'll be happy to welcome you into the larger community of our alumni. So with that, Congratulations, class of 2024, and I wish you all fulfilling and rewarding careers. Thanks.
Thank you, Dean. Joining us today as our guest of honor is the U.S. Ambassador to Singapore, Mr. Jonathan Kaplan. Ambassador Kaplan assumed his current role in December of 2021, following a career as a prominent executive, entrepreneur, philanthropist, contributing to different industries. The serial entrepreneur, whose ventures span from technology to gastronomy, has earned several accolades, including the title of Northern California 2010 Entrepreneur of the Year by Ernst & Young, and Business Week's Most Influential People on the Web in 2008. He has also played an instrumental role in bringing high-speed internet to young learners across the US through a nonprofit organization whose mission is to close the digital divide. Please welcome on stage Ambassador Kaplan.
Well, good evening, everyone. And thank you so much, Professor Klotman, Professor Tan, Mr. Go, Tony's here, my good friend, Dean's, for letting me and inviting me to join this incredible celebration. And also really for giving me an opportunity to address this incredible group of almost graduates, the class of 2024. Well, I'm honored and I'm truly humbled to be the United States Ambassador to Singapore. And I'm proud to join your family and your friends and the governing board members and the deans and the faculty and the alumni and all the distinguished guests to celebrate you and your remarkable achievements. This ceremony marks a significant milestone in your journey, a journey of dedication, perseverance, and just plain hard work. And I thank you for this dedication to medicine, to research, and to science. And I thank you for your commitment to society, for your selfless pursuit of a better world. And I thank Duke-NUS for giving each and every one of you a chance to make a real difference. As you stand ready to anxiously embark on your future, I want to remind you of the profound complexity of our fragile world, one that is facing unprovoked wars, socioeconomic disparity, and devastating climate change. But the graduates of Duke-NUS have the necessary skills for these complicated times. Each of you is equipped with expertise, with resilience, and with the desire to create the much-needed change and to find the solutions to the critical challenges that lie ahead. So I encourage you to embrace diversity and inclusivity in all aspects of what you'll do. Each patient you encounter, each research project that you do, these things may be different. Patients have different values. They have different beliefs, and we need to respect the differences in everyone. You'll also foster a more equitable and compassionate healthcare system for all of us. Healthcare is an ever-evolving field. So it's essential for you to remain curious, remain adaptable. Try to learn every day and be open to new ideas, new collaborators, new discoveries. This commitment to knowledge will give you a unique opportunity to make great strides in advancing and improving patients everywhere. Please, try not to forget the importance of lifelong learning. The 19-year partnership between Duke University and the National University of Singapore exemplifies a commitment to excellence in education and healthcare innovation. On behalf of the United States, we applaud the dynamic learning environment that's been created by this partnership. And a huge congratulations on your upcoming 20th year. Duke-NUS has become a global hub for medical education, for research and innovation, driving advancements in healthcare and attracting top talent from all around the world. I'm inspired by your unique status as Singapore's only American-style graduate entry medical school, and your focus on nurturing a pipeline of not just clinicians, but healthcare professionals who are clinician scientists, innovators, educators, and leaders. Through the Duke-NUS collaboration, you've had the opportunity to benefit from a diverse range of perspectives, teaching methodologies, learning environments, preparing you to excel in an increasingly connected and often disconnected world. Listening to Prime Minister Lawrence Wong speak at the recent inaugural ceremony, I was struck by his focus and his commitment to creating a Singapore, and I quote, where work is purposeful and life is meaningful. He also put a strong emphasis on the importance of looking after, I quote, our seniors, the vulnerable amongst us, and those with special needs. May your care for the vulnerable give you life that has purpose, that has meaning. Thank you to the administrators, professors, and other supporters of this incredible institution that have made graduation today possible and have brought the possibility of bringing these young adults into this field and into this world. In closing, I'd like to again extend my heartfelt congratulations to you, the graduating class of 2024. Over the course of your medical careers, may you continue to embody the values of excellence, compassion, and collaboration that define the Duke-NUS community. The world is counting on you to make a difference, and I have no doubt that you will rise to this occasion with courage and conviction. Together, let us strive to build a brighter future for all, guided by compassion for humanity and a sincere hope, actually a firm belief, that the graduates that are right here before us will realize amazing accomplishments and breakthroughs on behalf of their patients, their families, and humanity at large. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador. Delivering today's keynote address all the way from Duke University in Durham, North Carolina is Professor Mary Klopman. Professor Klopman is the Executive VP for Health Affairs at Duke and the 8th and current Dean of the Duke University School of Medicine in the school's centennial year. A renowned clinician scientist and distinguished leader in academic medicine, Dr. Klopman has been at the forefront of advancing science and healthcare through education, patient care, and research, and has led the School of Medicine to new levels of global recognition during her leadership. An infectious disease clinician and a research authority on HIV, she recognized an unmet and urgent healthcare need at the time when that epidemic was escalating, uncovering mechanisms underlying HIV-associated kidney disease and exploring ways to deliver HIV vaccines. Now, if Duke were an adjective, Dr. Klopman is as Duke as can be. She completed her undergraduate degree, medical degree, internal medicine residency, infectious disease fellowship, and marriage ceremony, all at Duke. Speaking of marriage, as Dean mentioned, there are two Dean Klopmans with us today, as Dr. Mary Klopman's husband, Dr. Paul Klopman, is President, CEO, and Executive Dean of the Baylor College of Medicine. But may I please invite Dean Mary Klopman to the stage. Dr. Klopman, it's a privilege to have you with us and to hear from you.
Good evening to His Excellency Jonathan Kaplan, the Ambassador to Singapore, Professor Tang An Chai, President, National University of Singapore, Mr. Goh Yu Lin, Chairman of the Duke-NUS Governing Board, Professor N.Y. Ho, Group CEO of Sing Health, Mr. Tony Chu, founding chairman of the Duke-NUS Governing Board, Duke-NUS Governing Board members, Professor Tom Kaufman, Dean of Duke-NUS, Professor Ed Buckley, Vice Chancellor for Duke-NUS Affairs and Vice Dean for Education at Duke, deans and faculty, class of 2024, your family and friends, and distinguished guests. I am delighted to be here today to celebrate with you. It's a special honor for me to visit your beautiful country again, having first made my visit 13 years ago, and to have the opportunity to address you today. In 2005, approaching 20 years ago, the collaboration between Duke-NUS and the Singapore government led to the opening of a research-intensive graduate medical school beginning August of that year, with 26 students who became the first to embark on their 4-year Doctor of Medicine program. As we approach the 20th anniversary of the creation of Duke-NUS and the strong partnership it represents, it's so gratifying to see how that partnership has matured, producing outstanding clinicians, clinician scientists, biomedical scientists, as well as accelerating biomedical research in Singapore and globally. The success and longevity of this venture is a testament to the power of strategic international partnerships and a forward-thinking approach to medical education and research. Solving any complex problem today requires a team approach, and the partnership between Duke and NUS continually offers that opportunity. The fruits of the partnership are evident today. The research faculty and portfolio at Duke-NUS is world-class, with highly impactful programs spanning cancer and stem cell biology, cardiovascular and metabolic disorders, emerging infectious diseases, neuroscience and behavioral health programs, and health services and systems research. Sing Health Duke-NUS is a thriving academic medical center where science and medical care come together while training the next generation of healthcare providers. That's where I like to say the magic really happens. The magic that can transform healthcare. And the success was on display last fall when leaders from the Singapore government, NUS, and Duke-NUS visited Durham. The conversations over the course of those visits were robust, engaging, and focused on the future. We discussed what new problems will best be solved by this unique partnership, everything ranging from discussions with the Minister of Health on how best to realize the promise of population health, to conversations with academic leaders around harnessing AI for the greater good, or taking on the intersection of climate change and health. But perhaps the best example of this successful partnership is on display right here today, the graduates of the class of 2024. That includes 62 MDs, 5 MD PhDs, 15 PhDs, and 8 Masters in Translational Medicine. You have already shown yourselves to be exceptional. After all, it's not lost on any of us that you entered 4 years ago in the summer of 2020, the first year of the COVID pandemic. And you are entering medicine during a period of unprecedented pace and growth of science and technology. You've already displayed flexibility, willingness to persevere, and to take on new challenges. Those qualities will serve you well. But as you reflect on your experience and what the future holds, I challenge you to consider a few things that are not completely random, but are drawn from our collective experience that we've had recently as you look to the future. First, become champions of scientific truth, not only as applied to your practice of medicine, but in your families and communities. The pandemic demonstrated the devastating consequences of misinformation, disinformation, and distrust of science, unfortunately amplified by social media platforms. In fact, the World Health Organization declared a worldwide infodemic in 2020, which has continued today. While the causes will be informed by social science, each one of you can be part of the solution. As graduates of this institution, you have learned that medicine is best when informed by strong, basic scientific evidence. You will be responsible for communicating facts in a sea of misinformation amplified by social media. But to quote my husband, Professor Paul Klotman, facts do matter. Brian Southwell, a communication scholar at Duke, UNC, and the Research Triangle, emphasizes critical strategies to enhance your communication skills. They're not surprising, but they're often overlooked. Listening with empathy, to explore where individuals are coming from, an approach that transmits that you value other viewpoints, no matter how different they are from yours. Ideally, as you're building trusting relationships over time, this approach will facilitate the uncomfortable discussions as you guide individuals to more credible information. In your communities, you need to embrace the role of sources of evidence-based truth, and to do so, you must earn their trust. Don't underestimate how your knowledge and skills can be used to make a difference in your practice, in your families, and in your communities. Harness your power as scientific communicators, and don't be afraid to use it. Next, don't be afraid to take detours. As you've learned, life will present you with paths that you never knew were there, and that may in turn present you exciting detours that lead exactly to the right place. As you heard early in my career, I am an infectious disease doctor. I was training as an infectious disease fellow at Duke. I loved science, I loved medicine, but I hadn't figured out how to put that all together. At that time, I began seeing patients coming to Duke with a new and fatal infectious disease caused by an unknown pathogen with no therapeutic options. So this may sound familiar to you, but it wasn't COVID pandemic. It was the beginning of the AIDS pandemic, and I was seeing the first AIDS patients at Duke. My love of medicine and science came together, crystallizing a path as a physician scientist studying that challenging disease. I took a huge detour, many years, to develop the tools to become a scientist and to follow my path and my passion. Your path will look different than mine, but it's important to be prepared to seize opportunities. Don't be afraid to take new directions, even if they weren't in your plans. We're so fortunate in healthcare to have so many options to explore. So I encourage you, explore them. Next, be champions of responsible application of technology. You will be the first generation of physicians and scientists who will have the opportunity to fully harness the power of artificial intelligence. It's not hyperbole to say that AI holds the potential to absolutely revolutionize healthcare for our patients, our communities, and our workforce. If harnessed appropriately, it will help reduce disease burden, improve diagnostics and treatment accuracy, reduce clinical and administrative burdens, accelerate the path from discovery to cure, enhance public health, and advance health equity. But with the opportunity comes risks and responsibilities. We must be mindful of the potential dangers posed. These include erroneous and non-actionable recommendations, AI hallucinations that many of us have experienced, biases in algorithms that create even greater inequities, risks to privacy, and loss of jobs. Remember that AI is a tool. You will be critical in making sure this tool is used equitably, ethically, and efficiently. And it should never replace the humanistic side of medicine, that of a respectful and compassionate relationship between provider and patient. In fact, the aspirational goal of these tools will allow you more time to develop those relationships. And finally, choose to invest in your own well-being. Burnout is real, particularly experienced in the healthcare profession during COVID, and none of us escaped that. Healthcare institutions must continually look at ways to mitigate that burnout, but each of you must find what uniquely sustains you. Find what gives you joy, both in your daily work and outside your profession, and make sure there is balance. Within our profession, mastering the humanistic art of patient care, building trusting and collaborative relationships with your patients can be incredibly fulfilling. And service to others can bring great joy and personal fulfillment. There is also great joy to be found in your professional colleagues. They're your teammates. Solving any complex problem today, whether on the wards or in science, really requires that you're a member of a team. As you heard, Professor Kaufman and I have been colleagues since we were interns many, many years ago, continue to solve problems together. Take joy in being a member of a great team and build and nurture those relationships. But also find what brings you joy outside of your profession and intentionally build that into your lives. Your generation has taught us that. For me personally, outside work, I have always relied on deep connections with family, both human as well as our beloved dogs. The time I spend with them isn't time that would be more productively spent working. On the contrary, it's time that renews and recharges me, gives me joy and fresh perspectives. Find your sources of happiness and fulfillment and nurture them. In closing, you will be the ones who shape healthcare and science in the decades to come. Your education has equipped you not just with knowledge, but with a toolkit of critical thinking, problem solving, patient care skills that will allow you to adapt, innovate, and lead in our complex and fast-changing world. I'm excited and a bit jealous for you beginning your journey to improve health, advance science, and transform healthcare. I wish you every success in this exciting future. Thank you again for giving me the honor to talk to you today. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Klapman, for your inspirational, timely, and thoughtful address. And thank you for staying on stage as we prepare to present our PhD, MD PhD, and MD graduates. Dean Kaufman, may I invite you to join Dr. Klapman in distributing the degrees, please? And to present the graduating class and their ceremonial hooders, I'm now delighted to invite our alumna from the MD class of 2023, Dr. Michelle Coe. Michelle, please.
Thank you, Associate Professor Shiva. Good afternoon. I am very honored to be invited to present the graduating class of 2024. Today marks the graduation of our 10th cohort of Doctor of Philosophy, Doctor of Medicine, Doctor of Philosophy class, 14th cohort of Doctor of Medicine, and our first cohort of Master of International Translational Medicine class in this hooding ceremony. And now, I would like to invite Professor Pierce Chow to come up on stage to hood the cohort of graduates from the PhD program in Clinical and Translational Sciences. Professor Chow, please. Today, we graduate the second cohort of students from the PhD program in Clinical and Translational Sciences. Accompanying them to hood with Professor Chow will be their supervisors and mentors. Hairil Rizal bin Abdullah and Professor Marcus Ong. Hu Chi Wai and Dr. Loy Si Ling. Han Cheng Sim Anna and Professor Ekos Lamaho. Thank you, Professor Chow. Next, it is my pleasure to invite Associate Professor Silke Vogel on stage now to commence the PhD holding for the programs in Quantitative Biology and Medicine. Professor Vogel, please. It is my honor to present the PhD graduates with Associate Professor Vogel and their research supervisors, Wang Chen Yang and Professor Ong Sin Tiong. Next, we will commence the PhD holding for programs in Integrated Biology and Medicine. Felicia Ang Jia Le and Professor Eric Finkelstein. Cheng Sin Ru Colin and Professor Gavin Smith. Cho Shu Min and Associate Professor Joshua Guli. Francisco Joel Cilio and Professor David Bashar. Nicholas Koo Kim Huat and Professor Antonio Bertoletti. Liang Chao and Assistant Professor Lina Ho. Lok Ing Min and Associate Professor Joshua Guli. Noor Anti and Professor Gavin Smith. Lalita Vaishnavi Subramanian and Associate Professor May Wang Casey. May Sam Yousefi and Assistant Professor Ui Yaoshin. Moving on, we will now present our MD-PhD class with Associate Professor Silke Vogel and their research supervisors. Randy Lok Yu Jie and Professor David Silver. He Shi Huan and Professor Salvatore Albani. Wu Tai An and Professor E. Kos Lamoho. Zhang Menglan and Professor Tan Eng King. Thank you, Associate Professor Vogel. We will now invite Associate Professor Lai Xianghui and Dr. Suzanne Goh to join us on stage for the ceremonial hooding of our MD class. It gives me great pleasure to now invite them both on stage. Shamira, daughter of Asman. Chan Li Yun. Chan Yan Kit. Chen Jingwei. Chong Ik Yen. Alyssa Marian Chua Jiamin. Eng Sing Yi Clara. Antoinette Fong Chui Wen. Gayatri Gupta. Haja Sharif Mahina Azim. Josephine Hendrickson. Ho Wen-Qi Jane. 金丽媛、Junsuk Ko、Barry Moses Ko 圈人、柯敏杰、Yang Ko、Sean Kong 耀祖、Lao Xiaoyi、Andrea 李哲恩、李文英 Gigi、 李义新、连俊杰、廖如烟、李恩林建颖、林柏景、Christopher 杨金路、John 罗仲恒、罗凤仪、罗子慧 Sarah、 Gavin Mai. Monteiro Amelia Yu Ting. Ong Xin Yue. Ong Wang Ching Eileen. Ong Tzu Xin. Ong Jonathan Lien King. Chen Chengqi. Kwek Sin Eun Stephanie. Maria Sofia Graciela Llames Reyes. Joseph Raymond Gavino Sanchez. Mandy C. Swetning. Dinesh, son of Tamil Selvan. Xiao Jianing Esther. Pel Vipul Shah. Tulin Sihabi. Seng Yuan Sheng Melvin. Sang Qiao Han. Nicole Tan Waikit. Tan Chin Yi. Tan Zihui. Tang Haoming. Teo Jia-ing Jennifer. Ricky Tan Ka-chen George. Rutra Maya Umapati. Ramalakshmi Gayatri Winjamuri. 许嘉轩、燕林轩、杨玉娟、永婷、周兆珍、Thank you, Professor Klotman, Associate Professor Lai Xianghui, and Dr. Suzanne Goh. May I now invite Ambassador Jonathan Kaplan to join Dean Kaufman to present the scrolls to the Master of International Translational Medicine graduates. Ambassador, please. May I also invite Professor Scott Compton and Professor Salvatore Albani on stage for the ceremonial hooding of our MITM graduates. Professors, please. Evelyn Fabriana. Tan Dat Timothy Lam. Tham Ik Ching Justina. Adrian Luo Xu Xin. Muhammad Shahid bin Mahmud. Rai Shivendra Kumar. Shamin Tan Tia Sin. Thank you, Ambassador, Dean, Professor Compton, and Professor Albani. That concludes the presentation of our new graduates. Congratulations. May I now invite Dr. Shiva to resume with the ceremony. Dr. Shiva, please.
Thank you, Dr. Michelle, and heartfelt congratulations to all of our graduates and your very proud families and friends. Our MD graduates, now fully fledged doctors, are a few weeks away from the privileged position of taking care of patients. As a symbolic ritual and a grounding reminder of their commitment to service, these graduates and any so willing physicians in the audience will shortly be invited to recite the Hippocratic Oath. Leading the oath will be Professor Ivy Ng, whose distinguished career has been marked by an enduring commitment to advancing healthcare, most recently during her 12-year tenure as Group CEO of SingHealth, during which time this largest of Singapore's healthcare clusters was propelled onto the global stage as a world-class academic medical center. In her pivotal role in establishing an academic partnership between SingHealth and Duke-NUS, Prof. Ivy has been a tireless advocate and friend of the school and our students, and she continues to honor and guide us with her service on the Duke-NUS board. Her almost superhuman accomplishments have been accompanied by a superbly humane touch and abiding charisma. It's thus my privilege to welcome Prof. Ivy to lead us in this significant moment.
Distinguished leaders, faculty, graduates, families, I'm just absolutely delighted to be invited to join in this momentous occasion, the culmination of many, many years of hard work and seeing your dreams come true. It's a distinct privilege to lead you in the oath taking. The Hippocratic Oath dates back to the 4th century BC and is attributed to a Greek doctor, Hippocratic. And the taking of the oath occurs at significant moments, like the white coat ceremony, when you're just starting off in your studies to be a doctor, and of course, right now, signaling the end of the formal, might I say, basic medical education. There's more to come. The practice of medicine has changed dramatically, of course, and totally transformed from those days. But the oath is still relevant and remains timeless. It lays out the professional values, the personal responsibilities that we want to uphold in the care of our patients. And by taking this oath, you bond with your fellow students, your predecessors, your physician colleagues, your mentors, and generations of physicians. Ponder the words as you say them. Make these your personal promise, even as you embark now as fully fledged doctors into this, in Dean's words, amazing profession and noble fraternity. I'd like to also invite fellow physicians among the audience who would like to take the oath again. And for all of us, physicians, graduating class, to rise as we recite the Hippocratic Oath. So graduating class, physicians in the audience, raise your right hands and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear by whatever I hold most sacred that I will be loyal to the profession of medicine and just and generous to its members. That I will lead my life and practice my art in uprightness and honor. That into whatsoever home I shall enter, it shall be for the good of the sick and the well, to the utmost of my power, and that I will hold myself aloof from wrong and from corruption, and from the tempting of others to vice. That I will exercise my art solely for the cure of my patients and the prevention of disease, and will give no drugs and perform no operation for a criminal purpose, and far less suggest such a thing. That whatsoever I shall see or hear of the lives of men, which is not fitting to be spoken, I will keep inviolably secret. These things I do promise. And in a proportion as I am faithful to this oath, May happiness and good repute be ever mine. The opposite, if I shall be forsworn. Thank you. Please sit.
Thank you, Professor Ivy. And now for something completely different. For your viewing pleasure, we present a video of a few of our graduates showcasing a snapshot of the drive and dedication that has gotten them here.
Switching from PhD research to direct patient care demanded that I adapt quickly.
With the labs closed due to the pandemic, we had to find new ways to push our research forward.
I failed my Year 2 PQE, which pushed back my education timeline and added significant stress.
Throughout all this, I'm sure we all had our moments of doubt. Was I really getting the most out of my research? Was I making a real difference?
Hi everyone, how you guys doing?
It was my mentor, Duke-NUS alumni, who always had the right advice at the right time, making my challenges manageable.
My journey here at Duke-NUS has been filled with learning, both in medicine and life. Dr. Ng Yi-Xian, my clinical tutor, profoundly influenced how I view medicine, making me a better doctor.
The Duke-NUS student community was a big support too. Through seminars and networking events, we stayed engaged and motivated together.
Joining the Student Council gave me a platform to assist students who felt lost or needed help. It was truly rewarding to see how our efforts created a supportive network.
Starting in academia, I quickly discovered a passion for working directly with patients. I found the perfect balance as a clinician scientist, where I can blend patient care with research to truly make a difference.
Dengue is a major concern in Singapore, and with my background in virology, I'm eager to contribute to dengue research at Duke-NUS.
My grandmother's battle with stroke deeply affected our family and inspired my path. That's why I joined Duke-NUS to dedicate my research to pioneering advancements in stroke prevention and treatment.
I came to Duke-NUS driven by a desire to innovate in medical technology. Here, I have been part of projects that are shaping the future of patient care.
Learning to listen better has transformed my approach to medicine. It's about treating the person, not just the disease.
Being here has helped me grow not just as a doctor, but also as a person, which has really made the big difference.
I have learned that it's okay to ask for help, which is crucial for us when we are trying to achieve the best outcome for our research.
The camaraderie here at Duke-NUS has fueled our ambitions. Ready to serve, we step forward with gratitude and determination.
Together,
We have grown,
Together,
We will transform healthcare
We heal
we lead,
we innovate
to transform lives in Singapore and around the world.
Action.
Okay, hold on.
Ready to shit. One more time.
I hope everyone gets to go home on time today for their dinner also. Yes.
Well, this is really much lesser fun.
Our graduates indeed inspire us, and we will now hear from graduates representing the PhD and MD classes who will share some of their reflections with us. May I invite Dr. Felicia Ang, representing our PhD class, to the stage. Felicia, please.
Ambassador Mr. Jonathan Kaplan, U.S. Ambassador to Singapore, Professor Mary Klotman, Executive Vice President for Health Affairs at Duke University and Dean of Duke University School of Medicine, Professor Taning Chai, President of National University of Singapore, Professor Ng Wai Ho, Group CEO of SingHealth, Mr. Goh Yulin, Chairman of the Duke-NUS Governing Board, Mr. Tony Chu, Founding Chairman of the Duke-NUS Governing Board, Duke-NUS Governing Board members, Professor Thomas Kaufman, Dean of Duke-NUS, deans and faculty, class of 2024, and your family and friends, distinguished guests. It is my honor to be here representing the graduating PhD and MD PhD class. My name is Felicia, just one PhD graduate amongst this remarkable cohort. As I look out at all of you, I'm filled with nerves, gratitude, and a huge dose of relief. We made it. After nurturing 3 tiny tyrants, human babies, this PhD, my academic baby, finally won't interrupt my sleep at night anymore. This has been the longest pregnancy of my life. So first off, congratulations to every graduate. Our journey was less like the predictable linear correlations we love to see in our results sections, and more like those erratic toddler years. Unpredictable, occasionally awkward, and definitely more successful with a strong support system. Reflecting on those 5, 6, even 7 years for some of us, they seem endless at the start. But now here we are, wondering where the time went and when exactly these new gray hairs appeared. I dyed my hair fresh yesterday for tonight. As they say, the days are long, as colleagues who ran night experiments will tell you best, but the years are short. And in the midst of our PhD challenges, we got an extra dose of fun with a global pandemic thrown into the mix. Because, of course, what is a monumental academic challenge without a little chaos? This turned our years into a vibrant tapestry of resilience, where adapting to a pandemic reshaped our research world almost as much as our mentors reshaped our drafts, gently guiding us to refine everything from our qualifying exams to our thesis. And so although this journey very often felt like a solo mission to Mars, it actually turned out somewhat like a Chan Brothers group tour. It was a shared saga of endurance, of growth, and yes, the occasional free lunch. There is nowhere else you will find more poor PhD students than a free lunch. And so whether it was just a fellow student analyzing samples that I'm not going to embarrass myself trying to pronounce here tonight, or me surveying our vulnerable patients, we shared more than just a program name. We shared free meals, supported each other through harsh feedback and changes in life, and celebrated our milestones. I'll never forget how friends and colleagues from Duke-NUS gathered to celebrate my wedding dinner, turning a professional bond into a lifelong memory. This experience taught me a profound lesson. Success is not a solo adventure, but a group tour, made richer by the company we keep. I owe huge thanks to my thesis advisory committee and Professor Eric Finkelstein, who was less a thesis advisor and more like a guide and friend on a wild academic safari. He has the uncanny ability to spring all the questions I'm least prepared for. And this always kept me on my toes, helping me grow not just as a researcher, but as a person preparing to tackle what lies beyond these safe walls. Our story includes many more unsung heroes, our advisors, faculty, staff, and mentors who smooth our path, both academically and also through the emotional roller coasters and tricky life decisions. To Dr. Sarada Bolshan, Professor Silka Vogel, and the whole Duke-NUS graduate studies team, aka Catherine and Rosilla, somewhere out there, you can't imagine, but your belief in us propelled us forward. So now as we prepare to leap into new adventures, we take with us not just a diploma, but resilience, problem-solving skills, and the ever-important reminder to communicate our ideas clearly and hopefully succinctly. Let us carry forward the spirit of gratitude and the lessons we have learned. Let us also remember the wisdom of Isaac Newton, who said, "If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants." While today is a significant milestone for us as individual scholars, let us pay tribute to all the people who have made this day possible. In closing, the most heartfelt thank you goes to our families, our friends, and our mentors for your unwavering support and for keeping us sane. Thanks to you, we all achieved our PhDs without the permanent head damage. I tried to make a joke. But this is why nobody counts on PhDs to be comedians. So to the faculty and leadership at Duke-NUS, thank you for making this more than just an educational journey, but a transformative experience. And as we step into the next chapter of our lives, let us do so with optimism and a drive to contribute meaningfully wherever we find ourselves. Congratulations one final time to all fellow graduates, your mentors, your families, and your friends. Here's to facing the future with curiosity, courage, and a good laugh when we need it most. I would now like to invite Feng Yi on stage. Thank you.
Thank you, Felicia. Very good evening to guest of honor, His Excellency, Ambassador Mr. Jonathan Kaplan, keynote speaker, Professor Mary Klotman, NUS President, Professor Tan Eng Chai, SingHealth Group CEO, Professor Ng Wai O, Chairman of Duke-NUS Governing Board, Mr. Goh Yu Lin, Founding Chairman of Duke-NUS Governing Board, Mr. Tony Chiu, Duke-NUS Governing Board members, Dean Professor Thomas Kaufman, faculty members, fellow classmates, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Lo Feng Yi, and today I have the distinct honor of representing my class, the Doctor of Medicine class of 2024. First, I would like to offer my congratulations to my fellow classmates, including myself, on completing this arduous but extremely worthwhile journey through medical school. We are now finally the doctors that our little selves always dreamed of being. On behalf of the class, I would like to express a deep sense of gratitude to those who have journeyed together with us. To Duke-NUS Governing Board Chairman, Mr. Goh Yu Lin, and Dean, Professor Thomas Kaufman, thank you for your steadfast leadership during our time in Duke-NUS. To all the faculty, thank you for tirelessly imparting your knowledge and experience into us so that we become the doctors other people look up to. Last but definitely not the least, thank you to the ceremonial hooders and everyone who made today's graduation ceremony a great success. 4 years ago was a historic time. I still remember landing in a half-lit Changi Airport after my undergraduate studies and being welcomed by 2 long rows of policemen, ensuring that I do not sneak my way back home. The following 2 weeks were spent in quarantine, cut off from meeting the outside world. It was daunting and uncertain, especially so for the international friends who were here to study for the first time. Amongst the class, I could feel the apprehension about what the COVID-19 pandemic would bring, but also a quiet sense of excitement because this was exactly what we joined medicine for. We knew then, before school even started, that no amount of preparation had been sufficient for what lay ahead. But we were never deterred. From behind our computer screens that year, we conquered the concepts and skills that was required of us in this relentless and unforgiving cause. There was no barrier stopping us from pursuing our passion for medicine, and this is the story of our resilience. When the world presents us with a challenge, the class of 2024 will rise and meet it. It is no secret that medical school entails having a solid grasp on an exasperating amount of knowledge. However, having knowledge alone is not enough because we are in one of those few lucky professions where having your heart in the right place is equally as vital. In one of the recent community service events, many in the class volunteered to travel to far-flung dormitories in Singapore to screen the health of migrant workers. The environment was warm, and a good number of those workers did not understand English. Nevertheless, we still tried our best with our gesticulating hands, facial expressions, and whatever else we could muster. But most importantly, what gave me comfort was that we served with our hearts, which were returned in kind by the smiles of our migrant brothers. That day, 400 migrant workers got their health screening done, something they would never do in years. There are many more examples of how the class has touched the lives of others, even as far as the rural villages of Sri Lanka. This clearly speaks to the content of our character, one of kindness and compassion. My experience in Duke-NUS has taught me important life lessons that I will carry with me forever. First, in life, we must always expect the unexpected and be prepared to adapt as COVID-19 would teach us. Second, the going might be tough, but our constant hard work and resilience will always outmatch and outlast any challenge if we want something enough. Third, what goes around will come around. Treating patients with more kindness and compassion will only make us happier and strengthen our sense of purpose. This graduation ceremony is a celebration of an important individual milestone, but larger to that, it is also a celebration for everyone around us. It really takes a village to raise a child, and today is one of those rare occasions where most of the village of family, friends, professors, teachers, colleagues are here or on a screen watching on somewhere, present to witness the pinnacle of our academic achievement. So may I now invite the class of 2024 to rise, turn around to face the audience, and give your loudest round of applause to all those who have contributed to who we have become today. You may be seated. I'm incredibly proud of all of us in completing this medical school journey together. There has never been a better time to be a doctor in this post-pandemic era, with the help of advancing technology and targeted treatments for all kinds of diseases, and practicing in this world-class healthcare system. As we look forward to our promising careers with excitement, do know that you always have each other to count on, and you will never walk alone in medicine. Congratulations to the class of 2024 once again, and to the victories we share yet. Thank you.
Thank you to our class speakers, Drs. Ang and Lo, for representing their classes with humility, heart, and humor. Class of 24, you've heard from influential leaders and inspirational speakers. There's nothing to add, but congratulations. May your lifelong service to others be a credit to yourselves and to those who gave of themselves to raise you, sustain you, and train you. So on behalf of all of us at Duke-NUS, I thank all of you for celebrating our graduates with us. And now I invite our dignitaries, faculty, and graduating class to rise to exit in the ceremonial procession. In the meantime, I respectfully ask our other guests to please stand and wait the exit of the procession before leaving the auditorium to join us in the reception outside. Ladies and gentlemen, our ceremony is concluded.